Hello, I'm Yara Fernandez, and I'm building up the quantum and space education ecosystems worldwide through global collaboration and working on multicultural interdisciplinary teams. A way to impress people when you're trying to learn their language. So I would consistently utilize technology to expose myself to a lot of different languages, different cultures. For background, I was actually hired by a government in Northern Africa as cultural ambassador. This was back in 2020. So I consistently have uh, been in different initiatives where I wanted to try to include people from around the world and make sure that they are at the decision-making and leadership table.
Right? But what I notice is that nobody is talking about the guidance of implementing a quantum strategy for third world countries, countries that they don't have the main pillars for quantum education, for quantum, I would say for quantum research at least. They don't have main R&D institutes around this field. So this is what I actually found is like this is missing. This is a huge asset that is not available for many countries. For many countries, at least I'm pretty sure there are many individuals like myself in many countries that haven't had this kind of a chance to actually speak with you about my own efforts for quantum, right? I'm pretty sure.
I have experience long before ChatGPT was on the news. I would go up to low-income immigrants who had factory jobs, and I'd raise awareness that, hey, you might want to, think about how you're going to prepare your community, your family, yourself, your kids for the fact that your factory job is going to potentially be affected by automation. So I would pay attention to different technologies and go out into the communities and raise awareness. So some immigrants I helped were uh, they were native Chinese speakers. A lot of uh, initiatives that I've done, I've taken the initiative to be in rooms where I was really in rooms where everybody was from a different country. So I got to experience intercultural communication where after so much experience doing this, it's just like very instant for me. So then I got to, have many opportunities. Have I been to that country? Have I talked to people who are from that country? Have I interacted with people from that country? Have I interacted in person with the culture? Or perhaps have I used technology to create opportunities to interact with people from that country? So I covered how I've worked with amazing people through doing this, and how I have really brilliant friends through doing this. So I talk about how different countries are connected. And then I'll also talk about like resources. So I'll talk about, did you know Morocco has like a high amount of phosphate and that it affects the international food supply? Helps them like understand that we're all connected and we all need each other as a human race, right? Well, at least that's what I explicitly will say, like, wow, like it's good that, we have this happening in this part of the world, this affects us. And I read a book about gifted education that covered gifted education in Saudi Arabia. Now, gifted education, like if you think of that word and you reflect on like what this word means to you, right? Um, so you can see my intention. Like I'm looking at education of talented uh, people in Saudi Arabia. So I'm trying to look at Saudi Arabia from a positive lens, right? That's my intention. And then I read this book and I looked up the name of the program for the gifted education program in Saudi Arabia. Then I went on the internet and I searched for people who were a part of this program. And then I met Dr. Mariam Sani. So she helped with the foundation of the gifted education program in Saudi Arabia. And now we've been, working together for some time. And I found her. I took the initiative to find positive news around the world, something positive about Saudi Arabia. And through that drive, through that initiative, that's how I got that opportunity. So I created that opportunity for myself through thinking positive about Saudi Arabia. What are different talented people doing in Africa? Let's look at something positive that people are doing. And so then I found Eldridge de Mello from Angola. And so now my son, if he thinks of the country of Angola, he has a positive image in his mind. And again, why I do this, I'm asked all the time, like, why is this important to me? Because I have had many opportunities, many where I've been able to interact with people from around the world. And it's because of the fact that people can feel your vibe, they can feel your energy. If you look at, um, their country or their culture, yeah, you know, uh, a specific way, they can feel it if you have a positive lens towards towards their country. So that's my experience welcoming people from around the world, is that I really look for the positive in the human race. Hello, I'm Yara Fernandez, and I'm an advisor for a historical international space mission with Space Kids India. Have you heard of Space Kids India? Kids with a Z at the end? let me tell you something. They have already made world history, and not just with anyone. They made world history with kids from humble backgrounds, including kids from rural villages who had little resources and kids that were adopted. So me, as someone who advocates for helping former foster youth in the United States, I am super excited about Space Kids India. I went to India in person and I met the kids who were impacted done amazing things. That is not the only thing they've accomplished. And I saw how the girls felt empowered, felt like they could take on anything. So the fact that they have this background, they have this experience, and now they want to share it with the world, this is going to go down in history as an example of global collaboration among girls from many different countries, many different backgrounds, including many different cultures. And what great way to show our unity as a human race than to be part of this international space mission that is going to make girls feel like they can take on big things. So actually, when I first watched Eldridge uh, virtually in 2020, my son was next to me. So yeah, I was searching for positive news and virtually I met Eldridge DeMello. He was a speaker. And also, of course, I was searching for positive news about Libya.
The workforce preparation start with um, raising the quantum awareness, getting people all together, and that actually gets to the second pillar, which is environment creation. With the finest words that the use cases in Libya are not the same in Egypt, are not the same in South Africa, are not the same in Italy. The use cases in Italy are not the same in Qatar, not the same in Japan, or so different ecosystems. That means different use cases. Each country depends on certain industries to actually make a living for its people. So so really, the use cases in Libya might not be similar to one of our neighbors, maybe Egypt, Tunisia, but they might be very similar to a country that is 10,000 kilometers away from us, right? So that's why international cooperation is needed, regional cooperation is needed, and also local cooperation is needed to formalize a well-established ecosystem.